Selamat hari. Excuse my bahasa. And saya perlukan tolong Sakina. Sakina will help me. I don't hear well, so Sakina will repeat your questions. Please ask questions. Thank you, Sakina. Before we begin, a statement of gratitude. My thanks to Madam Mastura Abu Sama, my husband, and to all who brought me here today so I can bring my messages to you. I ask for your indulgence when I prepare my slides. Too many words, too many words. Please don't try and read everything, okay? Pay attention to my stories. Ask me questions. Read slides later, okay? The slides will be there for you to refer back to. So I'm not going to read my slides. I think that's rude when speakers read slides. Your time is as valuable as mine. For those of you familiar with ISO 9001, you will probably be familiar with the descriptions that you'll see of the 3 career paths. Although in this country, I believe that one person does all 3 jobs. Very common. Been there. In your handouts, I have taken the liberty of taking something from the internet from CM Crossroads, which is one of my favorite references. Baba Ayo, Joe Townsend, and Yossi Singer. Yes. If you do not have this in your packages, please let the attendants know. These are important messages for you, and I've actually underlined some to take back to your managers and your leads and your development team members.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
For the ones who have not scanned to continue this track, please do so upon exit. Then we'll give you the handout. Not at the end of the session. Not now. At the end of the session.
Please take a seat, and we will ensure that you get a copy of the handouts. And I'm not going to read all of this to you. There are 5 pages. I'm not going to read all of this to you, but I will make reference to a few points. Your organization chart is a key component of your CM solution. Point to management. Management makes the decision to hire CM personnel, configuration management personnel, quality personnel, and test personnel. Management makes the decision to combine those 3 disciplines or to separate. After you listen to me today, I hope management and your documentary evidence, you can go back to management and say, perhaps these disciplines need to be divided. And after you hear my messages, you'll understand why I say that. And I hope that your managers will also understand why I say that. Different managers hear different lessons. None of us hears the same lesson or the same message the same way at the same time. We are meant to hear a message when we are meant to hear it, and only then. So be patient, but do take the documentary evidence and my slides and try and see where professional improvement can begin. Have any of you seen this? This is lying around on the tables. Professor Sakamura makes a point in here. It's a direct quote. Knowledge on complete computer architecture design and strong data analysis capability is crucial. Please think about that quote for a moment as I proceed. Here's my message first. NVA. I have seen this on budget charts many times. NVA, non-value added. When it comes to a product, developers write the code, hardware engineers design the hardware. No one else has any value, right? Management? Management has value. Configuration management, the controlling of change or managing of change, the testing, are these not value added? So my message to you is that CM, QA, testing all have value. If you ever see NVA in relation to your job, your name, please understand that you have value. Here's a perfect example. What is a car without working tires? What is a car without an engine? What is a car without oil? So tires and oils and engine all have value. Okay, we agree? Okay, very good, very good. So for managers and contracts personnel to understand the value of these positions, they need to understand the value that you bring. And hopefully in this package you'll find some value that you can demonstrate to them. Then the key thing, in tying back to the minister's message and Madam Mistura's message, this delivers value to the company as much as to the country, because everything is economically driven. So if you're adding value to the company, to the product, to the country, as much as to yourselves and your families. To the personnel in these positions, I would say, persevere in your endeavors. I did it for 30 years. Persevere in your endeavors, moment to moment, day to day. Understand your power. Before I move off of this value statement, I want to share an example with you that I shared with Michael Cornelius last night. I was working software CM on a project, and the quality representative and myself were not happy with one of the builds. This build consisted of one change, one line in a Perl script. Okay. The script that was submitted is 2 lines long. There's one change in one line of a 2-line script. It took 6 builds. 6 builds to get this right. The software test lead didn't see anything wrong with the change. The development lead didn't see anything wrong with the change. He wrote the script. he made the change. There was no peer review. Quality and I did not witness, because they went off and the guys went off in a huddle and said, "Yay, it's blessed, it works." 6 builds later, 6 builds, the QA guy and I said, "We're not building any more software until we peer review this, until we do a walkthrough, until you explain to us," here's where knowing that computer, you explain to us what the change is, why you're making it, what the logic is, and only then will we proceed with another build. After that, we did a 7th build, and everything worked. What was so disastrous about this? 2 gentlemen did not do their jobs. They were in lead positions. They did not do their jobs. 30 engineers, 1 QA, 2 CM people. All of our time wasted, times 6. Value added. Strong value added. Okay, let's proceed. Each of these disciplines, people do different jobs. They have different values in the overall processing and developing of the products. We are usually highly conscientious personnel. Developers, there's nothing wrong with developers. They're just not as conscientious as the rest of us. Especially, I believe the expression, forgive me if this is a cultural no-no, but we call them quite anal. My husband calls me anal. You're being anal retentive, which means stop being that you have to do everything your way. It isn't that I want to do everything my way. It's if I have a process, I want to follow the process. Because my goal is down here, which is holistic, as Dr. Sakamura says. It's holistic. My job is good, your job is good, everyone's job is secure, product is good, company is good, everyone stays employed, economy is good. I said 2 years ago when I was here discussing CMQA and test, we are a power team. We have power, and you'll see some of what that power is in the description. With people, conscientious people, and dedicated people, and skilled people on the job, the end result is a quality product. Quality being the characteristics of what people are willing to pay for. Can you imagine an iPhone? How many of you own iPhones? Samsung? Droids? Okay. Nokia? Though none of those products would be successful if people like me in a support role were not conscientious. Members of the power team usually report to different managers. In your country, it may be different. In my country, the projects I was on, I had a different manager. I did not report to the program management. I reported to a separate manager in a separate group, which had pluses and minuses. I like to say there are blessings and curses with everything. He was a blessing, my manager, but at times he was not supportive, hence curses. But here in your country, you may have one manager that you report to. And it doesn't matter. It's okay. It's okay. As long as that manager, my husband likes to say testers have to be thinking people. Because there's a lot of critical thinking that goes into testing. And so as long as your manager is a critical thinker, and you are a critical thinker, and you can do mind melds, critical think together, brainstorm, power team. As long as you can work together to solve problems, again, from the holistic approach. I'm going to come back to this. For those of you that were here 2 years ago, you will remember my analogy. I'll get to it. Again, these descriptions are from ISO 9001. How many of you believe that quality can be inspected in? Did you believe that if you just inspect it, that you can put quality in the product? No? No? Would you agree then that that's kind of a misconception? Okay, hang on to that thought. CMQA testing provide information to management, to customers, to each other, and that information can be used in a variety of ways. Information, to decide about how to use information, you must do data analysis. And understanding what data you have and who needs it. And don't hide from them, but play up the positive, play down the negative, unless in a trend you see that you have a lot more bugs going into that product. Maybe somebody didn't take into account a user experience, or someone in developing the software didn't allow for a specific condition which creates bugs. When you're looking at your data, know how to use it. And data analysis is a new field. I encourage you to do a Google search on data analysis and see if it might be something you would be interested in. Data analysis is an important aspect of a product line, but it's also an important aspect of understanding where your company is in relation to other companies. Were any of you involved in the competition with the e-kettles? Is there anyone in here that was involved in the competition? Yes. Did you do consumer research, market research? Yes? Yes. If you don't know what your competitor is doing and what their product is like and what their testing is like, you don't know how well you're going to do on the market. Is my BMW better than your Kia? What's the other one? Well, how do you like my Honda compared to your Mercedes? I happen to like my Honda better than anyone's Mercedes, but that's just me. Okay, so data analysis, check that out, please. Do a Google search. With regard to these three positions, data analysis, as you will see, is something that you need to learn to do. If you're not good at it, work on it. Okay. Here I talked about the power team's power. Another little story. My husband was working rockets years ago, and it was Thanksgiving, and I expected him home for Thanksgiving dinner. And I got a call. Well, I can't come home. Why not? Because the rocket's not going to launch. Why not? Because I told the vice president it wasn't going to launch because it never finished testing. If we don't finish testing, we're not going to blow up a $200 million rocket. He was the test lead, or excuse me, test manager. He said, no. Vice president said, you're fired. And my husband said, okay, see ya, my wife's got dinner waiting. Don't take it personally, but you have the power If the testing is not correctly done, if it's not thoroughly done, specifically with regard to the testing, your higher risks. If you haven't tested your higher risks, are you going to allow that product to be released? No. Why not?
What's the cost? A lot of money you have to spend here, right?
A lot of money is wasted, isn't it? So we want the very best product to go out that door. So the consumer buys, and when the consumer buys, consumer being us, we buy, then the economy is good, the companies succeed, we all have jobs. It's good, yes? Okay. One of the other, when I talk about CM providing supporting materials, one of the projects I was on ended up in court. And the lawyer who was suing the company I worked for said, prove to me what is in that software. So the software lead and I sat down. I gave her printouts of every change board meeting, which documented every change, documented every build. We had 16 builds. It went to court. The judge said, they told you what was in the builds. It's in the materials. They provided you the change packages. They provided you with copies of the test procedures. I don't see a case. They're not hiding anything. So here's another strong value point that depending, especially in the medical community, with medical devices and the possibility of hacking. Have you read about the people that have had their pacemakers hacked? It was a lab experiment, I believe in Tennessee initially. So you want to provide as much information to whomever is asking to validate that the product is good, especially in this day and age. America is so sue happy. We want to sue. We want to put a finger of blame on, it's your fault. And yes, in some regards, I have a knee replacement. It is not that my knee replacement is bad. I tested it. I read the specs, mean time between failure. I was allergy tested. It's not the knee replacement, it's me. It's my body. I know that because, I've done the testing, I've read the materials, I've looked at, when I say material safety, MSDS, material safety data sheet, I've read that on the metals, the cements, I've been through the medical testing, so I have my entire change package. My knee was changed. So I've read all that. My data analysis says, Laura, you're just got a bad body. Get over it. So, okay. Using development measures, SCM and QA report the pros and cons of the development processes. They also report the quality of the interim or the end product. You're in the middle of a build cycle. QA says, hey, CM, you know what? We've got about 30% more bugs than we had on the last build. What do you think? That sounds like a trend to me. Does it to you? 30% more bugs between one build and another? Do we have a programmer that's sleeping while he's typing? Something's going on. So that deserves a comment to a manager or to a lead. Hey, let's huddle and talk about this. What's going on? Do you have a coder who maybe is doing a lot of this? That's for you who are familiar with Colorado, it's a new reference. We have legalized marijuana in our state. So is the programmer doing the, yes. Anyway, find out what the problem is. Arrive as a power team, a solution. Okay? Work together. Let's find a solution. Okay. The 3 pillars of configuration identification: control, audit, and status accounting. Control in some companies means manage, not control. Okay? It means manage. Try and manage it. In other words, be aware of it. If the team says we proceed, proceed. Try and manage it, understand it, be aware of it. But don't say, you're not doing anything until I say you're going to do it. I've worked with somebody like that. Modena, oh my heavens. She came up to me the first day of my position and she said, I am Modena and I am head of quality and I'm the one that's going to prevent you from doing your job. Oh, that was some introduction. And she meant it. Every meeting, every change board. She was a snake. I strength. Oh, what a charmer. Okay. I'm not going to read all of this to you, but what I want you, this is my second message now. And for those of you that have sat in with my husband, John Hagar, you know that he talks a lot about this. Skill. And the minister today talked about skill. She wants, the expectation is to be highly skilled, to aid our country to be seen as the very best place to come to for testing expertise. She has laid out an expectation of you. That's pretty high. That's a pretty high expectation. So when you review these charts, look at the skills that are required of you. Okay? Be the very best you can be. When you go out there, go read up on data analysis, understand configuration management, managing versions of products, because CM manages changes made to products. Manage your documentation. Understand that in CM you also are a librarian. I know you didn't want to be a librarian, you didn't sign up for that. But you are, by de facto, it is a part of your job. It is a skill. And it's actually a quite skill, I have to say.